Simple-ESL. Today, I'd like to take a look at countries and places that we can visit. I don't know about you, but I would love to go on holiday right now, and I love exploring and travelling the world and finding new places. But there are so many different countries in the world. Luckily, we have this handy map, and I'll just disappear so we can take a look. Now, it would be very boring for me to go through every single one of the countries shown here. But if you want to know all the countries that are here, I have put a handy PDF in the comment section below, the information section below, and you can download that and you'll have all the countries there with the arrows pointing to where they are located in the world. So these are all the countries, or a good selection of the countries, there are many more, spelt in English, or in English. So, for example, we have the United Kingdom. So that includes England, where I'm from. We have the United States of America. We have Canada. We have Russia. And we have China as well. So that's just a selection, an example of some of the countries. As I said, I'm not going to sit here and just go through all the countries with you, as that would be a little bit dull. And we want to learn how we can use these countries to say where we'd like to visit or where we have been. So, let's take a look, shall we? So, as I said, the vocabulary sheet is linked in the comments. So now we can ask, where are you from? So we've met someone, we've said, hello, my name is Will, blah, blah, blah. You keep going with the conversation. And you might want to ask, where are you from? Or someone might ask you, where are you from? And we would say, I am from, and then the name of the country. So I would say, I am from the United Kingdom. Or I would say, I am from England. So, I am from, and then the name of the country or the place you're from. If you want to use a city name, you could also use that. I am from London. I am from New York. That is also an acceptable way of saying where you're from, but in this episode, we'll just focus on the countries. So, let's take a look at this. Someone could also ask you, where would you like to visit? And you could say, I would like to visit, and the name of the country. So this way we can talk about our dream holiday, or a dream trip that we'd like to take, or a holiday we're going on in the future, or where we're going to study. So I would like to visit, for example, Thailand. I would like to visit Japan. These exciting places I would like to visit. So if someone asked you, where would you like to visit? You could answer, I would like to visit, and then the name of the country. Let's move on. Untangle this mess here. Someone could also ask you if you have been to a country. So, for example, have you been to England? We're all learning English. Maybe someone might say, have you been to England? Have you been to London? And it's really two answers to this. No, I haven't. I haven't been there. No. But I would like to go to England. From the previous slide. No, I haven't, but I would like to go to England. Or you could say, yes, I have. I have been to England. Yes, I have. So those are good responses to the question, have you been to a country? So, we could ask, have you been to a foreign country? This is a broader question, isn't it? Instead of just asking about one place, one country, have you been to a foreign country, somewhere other than your homeland or the place you are from? A good answer to this, with a lot of information, would be, I have been to England. That answers the question. You could stop there and you've answered the question. But if we're having a conversation, that doesn't add to the conversation and it doesn't show a good understanding of English. So you could say how your time was and what you did with your time in that country. So here's my example. I have been to England. I enjoyed it. So you can say, I enjoyed it, I hated it, I loved it. These are all things that we have learned in a previous episode. If you want to go back, should be on a card up there where we can say, I love a thing, I hate a thing, I enjoy a thing. We were talking about hobbies and free time activities, but you can use the same premise here. I enjoyed it. And what did you do? Well, much like the free time activities, we could use those examples. You could say, I played football, I went painting, things like that. But my example, and this is a good one for travelling, is I went sightseeing. That's a nice broad way of saying I went to popular sites in the country. So in England, you could go to the Houses of Parliament, you could go to the London Eye. There's so many different things you could do with it. That's just London. But in England, I went sightseeing. So, I have been to England. I enjoyed it. We went sightseeing. Good answer to the question, have you been to a foreign country? So, this is your turn. If you can fill in these blanks, you're on your way to answering the question, and in a good way. So, have any of you been to a foreign country? And you can say, I have been to, and if you have the PDF, you can check the country that you have been to, or you could just add the country or city in. I have been to, and I enjoyed, loved, hated it. I've given you 3 examples there. Enjoyed was good. Loved, oh, it was great, fantastic, I loved it. Hated, boo, rubbish, it was a terrible time, I hated it. So if you can answer this question and fill in those blanks, then you're well on your way to answering the question, have you been to a foreign country? So that is where I'm going to leave you today. Perhaps there are countries on the PDF that you have downloaded that are missing or ones that you want to add. I would recommend going on to this newfangled thing called the internet, going on to Wikipedia and looking up the country, and perhaps you could add it to the map and draw a line to the country that is missing. As I said, there are so many places, and to sit here and go through them would be frankly dull. But if that is something you would like, I can produce that, I can make that, and I can put that on here for you all to look at. But in the meantime, I'll speak to you in the next episode. Goodbye.